Welcome back to the Heroes Global Championship. We're getting ready for game number 4 here as Dignitas is taking on the Playing Ducks, and they are in the lead 2-1. But before we get into that, I have to apologize. I got hit up on Twitter, man. The Vol'jin combat was apparently a big mistake. So I apologize to all orcs out there when it comes to these, I'm just kidding, the trolls. I'm just kidding. I had to get my own little troll in there.
Actually, that's perfect. Go apologize to the trolls out there on the internet.
Exactly.
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of those, so apologies in advance. Let's get ready for game number 4 here. We'll find out our battleground that we are going to for our next series. Where do you think we're going, Claris?
I think we are going to Battlefield of Eternity.
Think so?
Yes.
I think BOE or Cursed Hollow. We're going to BOE. There we are. Oh, you're a dirty cheater.
No, I didn't.
All right, so we're going to BOE here. Battlefield of Eternity. He's got a monitor right here. For game 4, it's going to be Dignitas taking on the Playing Ducks. Playing Ducks, BOE, what do you want?
God, that's difficult.
Yeah.
That is a difficult question. Because the thing is it was Dignitas' pick as well. So it's Dignitas saying, we don't care where we're going, really. It's not like a battleground that they usually navigate to in a series, like if they're going up against one of the big 3.
Yeah.
One of the big 2, considering whether one of the big 3. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it unfolds in the draft.
Something to consider is that we might see Zelia as Tracer again. And not because they have to build a comp around it. I actually watched the replay of Zelia playing Tracer, and he uses a line of sight and breaking it so well. That's actually very hard for you to get the engage on his Tracer when he's moving so much.
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't want to see them let Tassadar through, but because they are first pick, it's probably going to be Dignitas banning it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter too much. If I had to think about what they would like to ban, it's very difficult.
Artanis is, again, another one that we constantly see here in Europe.
Yeah, it could be, because it's the one map where it really shows prominence here compared to, say, America, for example, where you see it as first bans, you know, to then see the Tassadar afterwards, potentially. Less so in North America, but yeah. Maybe that's one of the ways.
Be interesting. I don't think we've yet to even see a pickup for Artanis from Dignitas in the past here, but I wouldn't mind to see Zelia pulling it out, of course, or Stitch. Both those seem to be the catch-all for those teams. They have 2 catch-alls that play so many different heroes so well.
Yeah, it's not necessarily something that they even navigate to. It feels like they don't see as much power in it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't mind even just trying to counter it themselves. I think that Team Dignitas has very well-coordinated responses to something like that that could be a threat. So yeah, I think that wouldn't be the case.
Well, what I do want to see from the Playing Ducks is I want to see some Li Ming, especially on this battleground.
Yeah.
It's one of Chris's best heroes, it feels like. He does so well on it, and yet we hardly see it anymore.
But then what do you craft for? Do you want to craft for that poke? Because Li Ming just kind of emphasizes that style a little bit more. I would like to see them try and bring the fight to Team Dignitas, considering that Team Dignitas probably will... it depends what they pick as well, because they can play both styles very, very... in a very adept fashion.
True. Well, to the right, Playing Ducks will get their first ban in the game.
Okay.
It will be Zeratul taken away here as we head into BOE. Tassadar is the snap ban here from Dignitas. All right, we just showed you the strength of it, and we are not dealing with it.
No.
The ban here for Dignitas.
I like the ban on Zeratul. It's one of the heroes that has made more of an impact in Zelia's hands than even some of the others. I think at this point now we're getting to that moment where we were always asking the question at the beginning of HGC Europe, is Zelia going to mesh with Dignitas? I think that has been confirmed. I think that, yes, he's meshed. He's meshed faster than Alex the Pro G did. He's meshed faster, not necessarily than Athero, but Athero was around for a long time and part of a coaching squad for them as well. So probably at the same speed as Athero, but they definitely have a lot of respect for how well Zelia can play and his mechanical prowess.
Yeah. Well, to the right, for your first pickups, we've been seeing a lot of ETC. Been seeing a lot of Malfurion. I would pick Malfurion here if you want to go for a poke style. Malfurion gets to pick for the Playing Ducks, so that could lead into some poke styles for the Playing Ducks here, which is kind of an indicator that maybe they don't want to quite take the fight to their opposing team.
Yeah, it just means that if we get Rehgar on the other side for Team Dignitas, that they are in prime position to bring the fight to Playing Ducks.
Yes.
Because Bakery does like to bite down on some Ducks from time to time when he's playing Rehgar. We saw it in our previous game.
We'll let the Bakery out, man. Just going full on for the engages. Dignitas on the left side here. You can hold off on your Rehgar, I think, for now. knowing that Malfurion's been picked up, but I think we do get it later on down the draft. ETC will be the first pickup, and we have not seen ETC for JPL in a while. He's going to be happy to be getting his cow back.
Yeah, so that's what I was a little bit fearful of with these first picks and bans from Playing Ducks. The fact that ETC will come in here for them. I mean, if they went ETC Rhaegar now, I wouldn't mind it, and then they just craft the damage around it later on, but
okay,
that will be the case.
They pick it up then. So Playing Ducks on their side, do you take Varian Li Ming here? Get the powerful combo early, or do you just let it go through and hope it doesn't get banned out? Do they even go for that strategy? Going against an ETC, can they be as effective with it?
I wouldn't mind Varian Li Ming, as you're saying. I think that Varian Li Ming Malfurion is one of the powerful trio that we will see more of down the line in the meta, as long as there's no crazy change-ups, because you charge, you taunt, you root, you kill someone.
Yeah.
Like, and that combination can come out far quicker than a cleanse cooldown can. So I would like it if they did go that way.
Other options do include Vola. Get that poke in there. The Hungering Arrow build is something that we've been seeing from the Playing Ducks often. They were the first to show it here, actually, on the HGC stage.
Get the race going.
Yeah, get the race going. You start chucking it. After you finish that quest, you just put out so much damage that double arrows just chunk the opposing Immortal. And from there, he's got to make sure you keep her safe, so you build around that.
Yeah.
There's a variant into Vola.
Okay.
Instead here for the Playing Ducks.
Still has a lot of power behind it, because the thing is that as much as we say that Li Ming is the go-to to combo with Varian, and it is, you know, in par, but Valor with that Hungering Arrow build, with the Puncturing Arrow, once it does get stacked, it's not only are you doing big damage to the Immortals, you're actually doing pretty big damage with a double arrow to those heroes as well.
Yeah.
With the extra little... and the extra bounces, with the extra bounce that comes along with that quest as well.
Yeah, you have to think about the map when you're picking those combos. And still, later on, they could still pick up Li Ming. They can have Varian, Vol, Li Ming, which is definitely not a bad combination. Zarya is being highlighted here for Dignitas.
Get rid of that Valor comfort.
Yeah, you can see that going away.
It's so funny when you watch European drafts. They're very, very calculated, very, very like, we know exactly what complements everything. We are going to ban that out. It's very kind of normal across the field, apart from maybe something like a Team Expert. Everyone kind of navigates to the same stuff.
Okay, well, there's Zarya ban. To the right.
I think...
Do you take out Tracer? Just get rid of it?
I think Tracer. Yeah, I kind of do. As much as there isn't shields to complement her, I still think Tracer. Because we saw in game number 1, Tracer had no shields and was still doing big work. I mean, Ragnaros doesn't have that much power on this map compared to others, apart from holding on against an Immortal, but he still has really good team fight.
Yeah.
So that could be a potential ban as well.
On this map, Sophia Smash by itself, even if you didn't have Molten Core, is scary enough to even pick Ragnaros.
Yeah, I was going to say or Jaina.
Okay, well, there's the Jaina ban.
Yeah, they've shown the tendencies of going down that way.
There's Li Ming, so Dignitas taking the mage from themselves, and we have seen solid play from Mayne, and there is Arthas instead. So now we actually do have solid engage, but we also have a deterrent from Varian diving into poor situations. The power slide into an Arthas lockdown of Varian can be devastating.
They're just... Team Dignitas is just removing options from Varian. The thing is that when he charges against an ETC or an Arthas, which are always at the front line, the Rhaegar and Li Ming are very rarely going to be in a situation where they can confront Varian in that way. They are very much so limiting what Varian can do in this game, and I really like it from Team Dignitas, because if Playing Ducks plays with solo Varian Warrior against Arthas ETC, that's bad news Bears. Or bad news Ducks, not sure. So overall, I think they need another warrior if they're going to compete against us. What do you think?
What do you think about Tyrael Greymane? That's what I'm leaning towards.
Ooh! Ooh!
You have the engage to help out Varian if they do get the isolated pick. You have your hold for your Greymane. You have the Immortal control. You force Dignitas to engage you. Instead, they go for a Nubrak Tychus?
I think I like your option better. I think they're trying to directly counter 2 of the major problems, which obviously double warrior at the front line, Tychus is good for it. Anubrak will be good against very good against Li Ming, not only for the spell shields, but also the Beetles getting in a way. But I think I like Tyrael Greymane better.
So Tyrael Greymane gives you better Immortal control if you want to erase. A new Brack Tychus gives you control of the battlefield if you want to do the poke war.
Yeah.
Which can be okay for Vala. I just see a moment where if there is an overstep ever, that Li Ming starts to get resets like crazy. The front line melts, and Dignitas can run them over. But if Playing Ducks can hold their composure, their draft does work here. A new Brack can literally just sit in front of Li Ming constantly and taunt her to get those pokes going out. Here's the Greymane take here from Dignitas, so they have their own race as well now. Quite an odd combination overall. I think personally my playstyle, I would love to have Tyrael Greymane more, but I see where Playing Ducks are going with their pick here on BOE.
So I'm guessing that is a... They always do these switch arounds, so it's they have very flexible members to Team Dignitas. I'm gonna guess it's a Snitch Greymane. Yeah. In which case, that I think their overall composition is very, very powerful.
Well, to sound smart, all I have to say is Bakery is definitely playing Rhaegar, and Li Ming is definitely on main A. God, we're geniuses. We're so good.
I don't know what to tell you. At least you make up for that without your law knowledge.
There you go. Yeah, right? I think it's JPL on the ETC. Arthas is on Xaylia, and then Snitch on Greymane. So they have their strong foundation. I don't think we've seen a Greymane yet from Snitch, but every time he plays a new hero, he definitely shows up. Of course, he's definitely one of the catch-alls.
I think if in the first 3 weeks, he was like one of the highest in terms of like KDAs, like 16.1 KDA.
He was super safe. That was the massive stat that stood out for me, is that he had the least amount of deaths in HGC. He was definitely up there. He just does not die.
I mean, and that's actually something to touch on here before we get into this game. You know, there were some experts in the community or whatever and stuff like that that would look at Snitch in the early portion of 2016, maybe even some of the later portion of 2016, saying that he was probably one of the weaker components of Team Dignitas. No offense, Snitch, don't kill me, I love you forever. I didn't say this, but overall, it goes to show that here in 2017, he's been working hard. He's been really, really strong and on point, and he is doing well here for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, that was another thing too. On top of that is that some mentioned that it seemed like Snitch was prone to tilt. If there was a moment where the game was starting to fall apart, he would just kind of fall apart with the rest of the team. And that hasn't been a case here.
No, that
has not been a case. I got to agree with you. Snitch has really been pulling it together. Let's go ahead and go into game number 4, Battlefield of Eternity. Dignitas has a chance here to secure the victory, but Playing Ducks are hoping to divert that from happening. Here we are on the far left colors. The honors are yours.
Oh, indeed. For my Brit boys, it's Bakery going to be playing the Rhaegar. JPL, our lovely Frenchman, going to be playing on whatever it was just before. Snitch is on Greymane. It's going to be Many on Li Ming. And finally, Xaylia is going to be on Arthas. So they swapped out a Danish person in Alex the Pro G for another Danish person. So Xaylia doing well.
Wonderful croissants there. On the far right, Chris here will be playing Vala, as well as Wolf Joe showing off the Malfurion. Nande will be the one showing the variant. Sports Billy is up here at the very top playing Tychus, and we're going to be having our aggression now begin for our team. Chris there with his patented pink unicorn. Billy Goat with his pink hat there. The 5v4 down here. As a slight amount of aggression will occur, Dignitas does not see an opportunity. They will peel off Arthas to head to the top lane. Tychus, though, sitting in a bush.
That sad feeling when you're on this Valor and you're doing this build and it's great, but the level 4 isn't retroactive. So you can hit as many as you want early on before level 4, but unfortunately it's not really going to contribute to that. It's not like your Nazebo 20 where you're like, haha, 150 stacks? Let's go. I've already got all the power in the world.
Could you imagine if talents were retroactive? Reservoir of Hope on Ariel would be insane.
I would, oh god, oh jeez, not that one. I would like to see more being retroactive, I'll be honest.
Yeah?
I think it would reward consistent play over the length of a game.
What about talents that unlock if you've done a certain amount of things before then? You can't pick that talent at 16 if you haven't done the quest beforehand. That would be insane.
That's an interesting
mechanic. We could be developers, dude.
No,
and then we'll give everyone the hunt for a third heroic. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
The game would be insane.
That would be interesting. I would like to see that.
It would be. 4-man rotation continues down here in the bottom lane. Scouting drone hasn't popped up for Wolf Joe. This opens up the avenue for Playing Ducks to get the rotation onto the Immortal. Scouting drone, again, just a powerful tool on this battleground in particular. If you have a member that can afford to pick it up, go for it.
All right, so Jay's just going to be moving on down here. I do love the Nimbus Cloud. Oh, do I love the Nimbus Cloud. What a beautiful mount that is. Thank you for introducing that. Lovely. Does Goku in North America use the Nimbus Cloud, by the way? I
assume he does. He better do. He's definitely messing up.
Yeah, he's doing it wrong.
Sport Billy, though, in trouble on the top. Power Slide comes in. Xaylia gets the engage. He'll be able to turn it around. He actually gets the better exchange out of that 1v2 with some tanking there from the ETC. Some poke already occurring on the Immortal phase. We have the Playing Ducks slightly ahead, using that Hungering Arrow, working it in.
Yeah, Snitch got some good value there to start things off. So just kind of looking for any little bits of damage that they can do if he was able to juke on down there towards their Immortal. But of course, Playing Ducks doing very well with that little poke style that you were mentioning.
Watch Chris Explosion. He'll be the one here to stop the poke from occurring, from Mene in particular. He wants to literally face tank the orbs that are coming their way because he can actually handle that damage that comes his way. So his positioning will be key here.
It's such a weird, counterintuitive style compared to what you are used to in Heroes of the Storm, but you're absolutely on the money, especially with his Carapace shields that he can pop on every so often as well. You can basically tank that shield with a Carapace, tank the orb with a Carapace and take 0 damage actually to your health.
That was really well coordinated, actually. Nande went for the engage in the Warbringer, but Chris Explosion down the bottom left had an Impale come over and connect while Sport really worked in the damage. That was actually pretty solid. JPL walks away, does get the heal up, though.
Many hitting some magic missiles there on towards Nande on the other side of that, and that was very, very good. Like, just, it was blind. It was absolutely blind, but just predicting his movements. But as you can see here, Playing Ducks is doing well on this race.
The quest has begun to be stacked for Vollish. She's got a couple points already. She's been watching Grayman in the engage, though, as Chris Explosion goes for it, and Zelia gets flung across the map there. A big Impale as well to knock away Mene and JPL. A rotation in favor here for the Playing Ducks. They have a 5v4. Chris Explosion will huddle to the left here. His entire job is to delay the push. Snitch turns around from damage. He does burrow charge away, and the Playing Ducks take the first Immortal of the game.
Yeah, brilliant start. Really, really good start for them. As much as, you know, they got the level 4, you know, Puncturing Arrow hasn't really been stacked up just yet for Chris. Just prioritizing that Immortal, getting that down, and looking to push on here so that they can get really good value for this. If Anubarak soaks well up towards the top, if they get some good tower damage, they should be able to get level 7 from it.
I just want to state, I'm incredibly impressed by the Playing Ducks these last few weeks. This is a team that we joked about it in the early game. Well, I joked about it, about them maybe being sitting ducks against Dignitas. But the Playing Ducks continue week in and week out to come into the matchups, and they make sure to at least put up an insanely good fight. They are 2-2 in the HGC, but I can see a world where they're 3-1.
I have to completely agree. They took a map off Misfits. Admittedly, it was a little bit of a weird one, but still. And then imagine us coming into this series at the beginning of HGC. This would not have been the case where we see Playing Ducks going toe-to-toe with Team Dignitas. They have grown as a team so well, and you've got to remember that was at the beginning when they brought some Sport Billy in at the very beginning of the season because Raid Boss was, you know, unavailable. Yeah. It's really good.
It is really good, and we continue to watch them grow, and that's probably one of my favorite things about the HGC, is seeing these teams grow and come together. You know, it just really warms my heart. But with that being said, we do have a game here. 7-7 right now. The Playing Ducks continue their back and forth. In the bottom right, Nande, Chris, and Wolf Joe will deal with the push that is coming their way as Mene and crew are taking some structures. That's kind of interesting. We had the Immortal win go over to the Playing Ducks, but the soaking was done better by Dignitas during the lane phase, and so Dignitas is actually at even footing with their opponents, even though they've lost a couple of their turrets.
Was Arthas the one that was the normal go-to in terms of warriors to try and protect a mage whenever an Anubarak was brought in our previous drafts? I think it was, right?
It's been a couple times, yes.
Yeah. Cool. So I like that in the draft, etc. and stuff, that they actually brought that in to try and deal. The thing is that they kind of brought in Anubarak in an anticipatory move in the draft to assume that Anubarak was going to be the answer towards Li Ming. So I think that's good. It has strength. They're not even doing badly in experience. They're tied right now, considering that they took so much damage down towards that bot lane, did Team Dignitas.
Sure is. And just a note for you guys at home, the Ball level 4 talent is still barely even close to them. I believe they have 3 stacks total on that, so it's going to take a while here for Chris to get that going here. Poke on the Immortal right away. Nande is caught in the bottom right, though.
Mene, look at his positioning. He's looking for more damage on towards Nande. Doesn't quite get it, though. That was a little bit of block from Wolf Joe coming out. But that little crevice that you can see there just south of that Immortal is very good territory for a Li Ming because she can teleport out across that ledge if she's to get in trouble in there. So it's a very, very good spot for a Li Ming.
You poke on the right side here. Dignitas is being the aggressor, knowing they don't want to give Chris a chance here with a slightly ready to break down this Immortal, and he is very, very close. Greymane has started, though, breaking down the Immortal on the left. The Playing Ducks need to make a move here because Greymane will chunk that quickly. Big stun here.
Look at how little damage Anubarak takes from relieving. It's so funny. That orb smacked him dab in the face, and he was like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I love watching that.
Thick skin, man.
Yeah.
Crystplosion will continue to lead that charge. Anti-mage for sure.
Yeah, too true.
9-9. The Playing Ducks do have a chance here to play safely because they actually grab the Mercenary Camp, pushing in the top. Greymane and Li Ming go up to clear it, which should signal Playing Ducks to go in for an engage. They start to move in, start to continue the poke here. This constant tug of war is a very scary one. If one member falls for either team, that's the Immortal race, period. So you see them playing so safe here, continuing to scout out with their scouting drones and just poke where they can. Crystplosion actually is getting damage on the Immortal by dropping beetles. The beetles are chunking ever so little. They're nibbling, but they're working on that Immortal.
I was gonna say chunking, yeah. It's just a small that kind of noise is exactly what those little beetles do. Look at them on Xaylia right now.
Just slowly breaking it down. Xaylia walking away from the tree. Big Howling Blast comes out, and there's a pickup on Bola. Nande in trouble as well. Big engage here. Bakery on the right side as well, and that is going to be a mosh pit instantly. And Dignitas, that's what I was talking about. One kill, and the entire fight just switches completely.
Yep.
Dignitas moves down, shred the Immortal, and they'll take their first Immortal of the game.
There's one phrase for that. It's snap calls. Absolute snap calls there. As 10 came in off that first kill, mosh pit picked up, get that power down on that location, and that swings everything off balance here for Playing Ducks. That is now Team Dignitas in the driver's seat, and that kind of move there is a hard thing to recover from. Very, very difficult.
And a snap move is something that it's strong because of the chaos that it randomly introduces into a moment that is stagnant, right? And Dignitas just being a king there, and they're engaged. Move up a full level, 11 to 10. Big Immortal here pushing. The shield's already been broken down by the Playing Ducks, but all 5 members are here, forced to defend. Have to watch out, and JPL could go for a power side. The good news for the Playing Ducks is they do have their heroics. Laser is used here to burn down the Immortal, but it is getting low on health. Can they break through? No, they saved their fort.
Here's a weird thing that I've just observed quite nicely, is that, yes, Nubarak does really well against Li Ming, but one hero that he doesn't do well against is actually Greymane.
Yeah.
Because not only is Greymane able to put out so much auto-attack damage, but also the Gilmane cocktail is then procced by the beetles that are usually blocking out the combos from Li Ming. So you're almost guaranteeing yourself, in some weird situations, extra targets for that to proc off in team fights, which is quite irritating here for Playing Ducks.
Yeah. It's not even that Anubarak gets faced by it, it's that his team gave us less damage. Yeah, that's the point that you're bringing up there. And yeah, it is definitely something to consider with your positioning with Anubarak. It's something for the team to consider as well, to watch out for those Gilmane cocktails that do come their way. To note that Greymane actually did go for level 4 and level 7, but he grabbed Inner Beast at level 1, so he's intending to actually work on those auto attack on the Immortal itself. But another thing too, Crystplosion, if he's ever out of position and has used his Burrow Charge too aggressively, Greymane will shred that bug. He'll jump on top of him, bring in those auto attacks, and if you have to build in auto attack build, Crystplosion will die quickly.
Now, of course, yeah, he has taken the level 10 with the Tranquility was picked up, so there's extra sustain here. Locust Swarm has been picked up for Crystplosion, which, if anybody is familiar with... Oh, wait a minute, hold the phone. He's going to try and dive on towards JPL. He does get cleansed out of that. Tranquility gets popped. They're looking to try and get Xaylia now. Burrow Charge on forwards here. Anubarak wants revenge on Arthas.
Xaylia barely surviving. Can he continue? The Impale does not connect. Xaylia is able to walk away from that engagement.
Now, yeah, so Locust Swarm been picked up for Anubarak. A lot of sustain extra to him, and a lot of people from World of Warcraft history have a lot of scary kind of memories of Anubarak. Yes, in heroic mode. His last phase in World of Warcraft, when you actually fought against him as 25-man in Trial of the Crusader, was he would cast Locust Swarm and constantly be regenerating off everybody. So you had this weird moment where you just didn't want to heal people and keep them very, very low and just not give Anubarak as much health. There you go. It should be percentage-based. That would be the perfect little transition.
Anubarak needs to have a battleground, is what you're telling me.
Oh, God.
There you go. Let's do that. Constant aggression on the right side here on the top of Mortal here. Oh gosh!
Well,
Dignitas losing losing out on that engage, actually getting a member killed off as a Nubrak falls.
A Nubrak used to be more sustainable than that. Let me.
So no Nubrak, no variant. Bo takes down. And we're going to have a full wipe here on this Immortal as Snitch will start to burn it down. Li Ning has left to defend here. And the Playing Ducks, it's kind of weird. Their early game felt really strong, but we're getting this mid phase here. And these snap calls, as you alluded to earlier, are starting to be the death of them.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult for them to actually really deal with. And now the zoning potential from JPL, this is perfect for Dignitas. The way the Immortals have positioned themselves, they don't mind if they race, because as much as Valor is very powerful in it, as well as the Draken Laser Drill from Tychus, it was already too low. Too low for them to win.
Yeah.
That'll be a victory there for Team Dignitas here, looking to push on towards a keep.
It's actually a great spawn you were talking about. One, because of positioning, and two, because Greymane was getting low on mana. Had it spawn on the opposite side, there would be a chance for Playing Ducks to defend and get engaged.
True.
So really working out for there. Dignitas in a good spot, 14-12, and they finally got that 4 in the top right. 2 forts down on the side of the Playing Ducks. Now suddenly keep damage becomes a major threat.
All right, so JPL here at the front, looking to just try and find himself a good position. Here comes the Immortal. Half shields at the moment. Any kind of stun could easily be followed up. Dignitas takes down the side wall there. Draken Laser Drill has been positioned in such a way so that it deters Dignitas from going on through there for a moment, but the entire wall is now down. Draken Laser Drill is gone.
Draken Laser being used, keep being sieged upon. Nande looking for an engage, but it's very difficult to do right now. And the keep is taken away. Dignitas will take their slight reward here and continue to have their lead. Don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Too threatening there. There's not much you're going to get. You're not going to go for a core rush here.
I completely agree. Absolutely play it safe. Just back off, get yourself your level 16. You don't need to take a fight, talent versus talent. You can just get yourself an advantage, as we have Incendiary Elixir complete now for Greymane.
So some arrow build still not finished here for Chris. He's close. He's about 75% on the way there. I have an update for you at home. The poke will ramp up pretty hard for them once they do finish that quest.
Was that some anti-synergy? How did... Oh, okay. Never mind. I wonder how Nande had gotten so quickly away from that Howling Blast there for a moment. He must have charged towards the minion. But anyway, JPL at the front, still just zoning these guys out. Good damage coming in from Mene. Let's take a look at those numbers as well, actually. Because right now, 28,000 damage coming in as the top spot here for Li Ming on that played by Mene. He's well versed at Li Ming. Very, very easy for him to find good spots. Hasn't died yet as well. Almost never does really as Li Ming.
And Playing Ducks will grab the camp here. Oh, hang on. Big power slide into a mosh pit. The interruption from Chris Explosion is good, though, with the Pro Charge. Nande, though, still low on health. Is focused down. 2 members down. The resets are coming here from Mene. He gets a huge hit on Wolf Joe as well. Blinks over the wall. Continues up the aggression. And Mene is just going off here. Loving being back on that Li Ming once again. Chris Explosion will be able to retreat, but only 2 members up for the Playing Ducks, and Dignitas is looking for more.
And that's the reason we focus on Mene. That's why we talk about him when he gets his hands on Li Ming, because he's able to make those kind of resets happen, especially at 16 when he's got Mirror Ball available. He's not going to be missing. Very, very powerful stuff. And they just look for a keep and eventually just opening up for the killing blow.
Yeah, they have catapult pressure on the top. They don't have to force this. They got the wall open in the bottom, so they have that Immortal that can get there on the keep faster if they do win this Immortal phase. And the Playing Ducks now on the back foot, they are a level and a half away from even matching their opponents on talents. They'll have to play stellar defense here to hold against their opponents. They're going to go ahead and burn their Immortal as much as they can. However, with that Greymane being on the side of Dignitas, they definitely take a substantial lead here by, what is that, 7k health.
Mm-hmm. All right, so repositioning. ETC and Zalia just zoning out down towards the bottom on this Immortal once again. Playing Ducks realizes that the race is not possible, but likewise, this fight not very easy for them either. They're hoping that Dignitas strays too far forward, gets caught by a stun from the Immortal, and then they can follow it up. But that is difficult.
Well, it did defend the catapults and the push here. Big taunt on JPL. He is being focused down.
Get him.
Down no quarter healthy power slides away, but Nande follows up. The Ancestor healing was way too late. However, a Nubrak fell as well on the right side. Snitch using that Greymane to effective use here. 4v4 once again.
Yeah, 1v1 though. Not too bad here for Playing Ducks, considering they still have Varian as a warrior at the front. So I don't mind that. I like that trade for them. They're just trying to get themselves any little bit of room they possibly can. Chris just going to be throwing out those hungering arrows on towards this. And the fight will still continue to rage on down to the bottom. They can't, the Playing Ducks can't fight this though. Valor's now come back in here to try and help out. Greymane going very, very low. They're going to kill off Tychus towards the bottom. That's a trade for the Greymane.
Zelia on the back line here. Here goes Leeming as well. Mane has no mana though, but he does get the kill. Wolfjo and Chris on the top right. Zelia chasing here, looking for more. They turn around and start applying damage to the Immortal. You're not going to chase down that Vala all day.
Nice Howling Blast.
Big Howling Blast. And Nubrak did defend the catapults at the top. And the lead...
Chris still has mana. Chris can actually do a lot up towards this Immortal with a Vault as well. Another Hungering Arrow comes in. They're slowly catching up, but Zelia and Bakery just don't care at all about the Anubrak. It's getting very, very close here, but with Mene coming in, that should be it for Dignitas.
There's the Immortal. Valiant effort, though, from the Playing Ducks. Yeah, honestly, there. Being down a talent and a half. Do get a smaller shield on the opposing team's Immortal, but they still have to deal with the catapult pressure. There's two already in the top, and the big push on the keep. Chris goes for an engage here, focusing down Zelia. That armor working in. Is it enough? Mane brings out the orb. Chris Explosion, continuing the chase. We'll have to stop chasing. Oh my gosh, he burrows in to fort range, looking for that Arthas.
That power slide from Jay was beautiful, not only to save Arthas, but also not put Jay in a bad position after the power slide. He slid out in just the right direction, the right angle. Geometry was powerful here for Jay. And now they're going to have to stop this Immortal here at Playing Ducks. But I don't think they can. I think that this keep's probably going to fall here if Dignitas finds himself some poke. It's going quite low though, never mind.
Ooh, the poke actually misses there. The Playing Ducks hold. Wow. I am actually impressed right now with the way that they're playing in this late game. This crisis management is doing work for them.
Yeah, it was made all the easier thanks to the fact that now level 4 for Valor is complete. Yeah. So that's an extra bounce, that's extra huge damage on towards that Immortal as they're defending. Also something important to note is that Manticore was actually picked up at level 16 here for Chris. I think realizing, thank you very much guys, I think realizing that a lot of what they have to do is take down the front line. Not necessarily chase with Frost Shot at level 16. They have to kill off this front line, and if they don't, they're going to be doomed.
Yeah, and it's very helpful against Arthas and HGC in particular. Arthas would be the main target there, especially with him having the armor naturally baked into his kit now. Doing percent damage against his health is great, because it's actual true damage that actually does affect him. So we'll continue to see that here from the Manticore. Playing Ducks have been playing aggressive now that they've hit level 16. They went for a counter engage there on the left side. However, Dignitas was aware of it. Zelia was able to escape. They're back in the top, holding down that lane. Dignitas making a move here. Would love to get that keep if there is an opening. And the Playing Ducks, though, do not intend to give them an opening.
No, not at all. This is do or die here for Playing Ducks at the moment, though. They know that their series lifeline is on the line as Zelia here just stealing away this with Bakery, the hard camp. Perfect timing for them to take it away from Playing Ducks, considering the Immortals are about to pop.
That will bolster that push in the top. 10 seconds here for the Immortals, as Claire's was mentioning. This is do or die now for the Playing Ducks. They need to win this Immortal phase. If not, I can see the game definitely ending for them unless they get a 5-man wipe. Dignitas sets up for the defense. Here we go, Zelia on the top left. Nande starting to poke there with his Q. The catapults, there are 3 currently on the core, by the way. So Playing Ducks need to make their play. No one has backed yet. The decision needs to be made soon, and Dignitas just playing with their food. They're just waiting it out, knowing they have the advantage. The core and its armor has disappeared, 99% now, and JPL continuing to be in a position here to catch anyone that gets close to the Immortal.
Scouting drone keeps an eye on things. Zelia going to push up forwards, trying to lock people down, gets 2. That's a good power slide in from JPL, but he takes a lot of damage off the back of that. Likewise, so does Chris. Has to get out of there for the moment.
19-17, Playing Ducks continue their trend, moving back and forth, a tug of war. Big pop on Chris Explosion there from Mane. Luckily, that spell shield kicking in for him. Nande on the back left at the same time. Finally, the Playing Ducks get a little damage on the Immortal.
All right, so still slow and steady here.
Yeah.
Against this Immortal.
Zelia goes for the Howling Blast. Actually does pick up Nande here, keeping up with the constant push. And the full engage isn't here for Dignitas. I'm not looking for a massive play unless it's a big mosh pit. Power slide into Nande, though. Here comes Greymane from the side. Oh, but gosh, Mane taking damage on the counterattack there from Nande. Nice play from the Playing Ducks. Playing with fire here, as we have not hit level 20 yet.
Yeah, that's the closest that Mene's actually got to death in this game. So he was a little bit too far forward. I think it came off the back of ETC and Arthas trying to get a lockdown on someone, but Jay then using his knockback as the Howling Blast came in. So a bit of anti-synergy there. I think that was an attempt at a mosh, no? From Jay, but maybe he was just stunned for a moment.
It's been kind of hard, actually, with the map pushing in. Dignitas has had a hard time grabbing experience to move towards 20. They've only eked slightly here, as they've been in the middle of the map the entire time. At some point, they will have to kill someone off to soak that bottom lane so they can get closer to that level 20. And the Playing Ducks is taking that advantage fully here. They keep trying to go for engages. They're ready to turn around fights whenever they see JPL move their way, as they just know that as the longer this plays out, they start to fall behind. So they keep up with the aggression. Here's Sports Billy bringing out the overkill. Dignitas is now spread out appropriately to get some damage on that more on the bottom left.
So what's important to note here for Varian in his kit, level 16, we're actually having Mortal Strike being the choice. I think what they're trying to do is mitigate as much of that Ancestral Heal as possible and trying to pop one of those frontliners. So not only does the Manticore come into effect and trying to get them down, but also that Mortal Strike is an effect as well. Again, if you've played World of Warcraft, an effect that is oh so annoying to deal with.
40% less healing. However, Dignitas has hit level 20, and now they aim to get aggressive. The Howling Blast does not connect. The Playing Ducks hold the game. They grab the Immortal. They get pressure on the bottom. They're in a good spot here to continue playing.
This is something that, though, Dignitas did very, very well, and they just don't care about. The fact that they give up this Immortal because they wanted the level 20. They didn't want to take a straight-up direct fight before that. And they genuinely don't give a damn about that. They're just going to look for damage elsewhere because getting that 20 was more important. Finding that comfort in a team fight was more important. And I'm not sure what Playing Ducks does here now. They have to skirt around a fight for at least a minute, I think.
The safest play is to give up this keep and get 20.
Yeah.
And so they give it up. And now they have to soak. They should be able to obtain 20 before the next Immortal phase, and that's the even playing ground. The problem is Dignitas' great early game and great middle game comes in the form of pressure in top and bottom lane with these catapults. So Playing Ducks is definitely going to have a hard time, but they managed well last time. The problem is now they have 100% more lanes pushing towards them with the catapults in the bottom lane. So we'll see how the Playing Ducks will handle set aggression. Meanwhile, Dignitas looks to take everything away.
And it's harder. It's harder for Playing Ducks to actually get this because the Immortal was pushed so far up towards the bottom lane. The wave is quite far away at the moment from Playing Ducks. Likewise, they pushed up towards the top lane to get some structure damage, but then again, the wave has pushed back a little bit. But thankfully, it's been freed up now because Dignitas has catapults pushing up there quite heavily with that hard camp as well. So Playing Ducks will find level 20 from that top lane in just a moment.
There it is, yep.
And yeah, there we go.
Dignitas just takes the opportunity while they have a slightly still here, and the Playing Ducks are playing reserved. They grab all of the camps. They now have the one at the top, the bottom, and the middle. They need to push with one. I would push the bottom. That way they have catapults pushing, and they can set up for the Immortal phase.
All right, let's do a situation analysis. Let's see. So level 20s come in. We've got Farflight Quiver, Storm Shield. We have the Focusing Diodes coming in, as well as a Hardened Shield on the Nubarak. And finally, not sure what Mr. Varian is going to be picking up here. I'm wondering if that's going to be enough for them. Farflight Quiver gives a lot of extra punch behind Valor, but not as much as it would be if it was like an auto-attack multi-shot build. What do you think about with the position that they're in right now?
It's mostly the range that's up for Vala, which allows for the tanks to play more aggressive, and now Furion can maybe set up for more aggressive routes. No Bolt, though, with the Tranquility being here.
True.
Storm Shield and Ice Block was more effective for them. We go for the immediate trade-off for our two teams. The race goes in favor of Dignitas. Just at this point, with Greymane being on the left side, you just have so much upfront damage here. Big power slide onto a Nubarak. Chris Explosion pops Hardened Shield.
One thing that can go really well for Playing Ducks is if they get the right fight, is that Glory of the Alliance with that banner and then Tranquility will keep them so healthy if they take a full-on fight. But Dignitas here knows it's 4v5 right now. They're going to try and take this fight. Ancestral Heal comes out.
Mosh.
That's a big mosh on towards 3, and Sport Billy is going to end up falling. Dignitas here is doing very, very well.
That they are. They continue pokes. Man on the left here poking hand as well. But Greymane is in trouble at the same time. We've also lost ETC. Only 3 members up here. For Dignitas, Mayday is going to have to kite back, but they have a tasty Nubarak in the front line that can tank these shields. The problem is, at the moment, Core is taking damage. Dignitas still banking on that slight advantage they have. Chris will start working auto attacks.
a lot of that fight there turned around because
Mayday going in, and
Oh
there's
my
Mount Fury and 2 making the plays. Chris Explosion will retreat with the burrow charge, but he will get picked off as Bakery comes in for the bite, and that's game right there. Mayday just made the play for his team.
Playing Ducks got so lucky on this side of the Immortal because Greymane and ETC were locked down by an Immortal stun, which then followed up by so much AoE damage, but that fight afterwards was just... Oh, Dignitas.
That was beautiful. Varian had to go back and defend. Here's the quick replay here. Look on the bottom right side of your screen. Mayday waiting. So Zaylia comes in with the Howling Blast. He does connect, and there's a stun from the Immortal. Mayday shows up. He hits a couple of buttons, and there's the 2 takedowns instantly.
And that's why this build for Li Ming is so strong. Don't, the Calamity into Dominance just keeps Mene so healthy, so fresh. He comes in after those follow-ups on the stuns. It's perfect play coming out here from Team Dignitas. Great follow-up, and almost sure to kill off this core now.
Almost sure. But Playing Ducks has been in a scenario before where the game was almost over, and they did hold. This one is looking more dire,
they know
though.
they can't.
The core's right down there waiting in the fountain. That's going to be GG here as Dignitas will take the series 3-1 and earn the victory. However, man, Playing Ducks, they continue to impress. A big mishap at the end, unfortunately for them, but they still hold against these top guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Dignitas had a slight slip up there on the opposing Mortal side where 2 got locked down, and it was a great trade for them. Dignitas made the one play that was going to get them back into that situation at the very end. It could have been a different story if that Howling Blast into stun hadn't occurred there, but great capitalization on their opponent's mistakes after their mistakes.
Great control, too. Dignitas was far ahead in that game, especially when we went into the mid game, but they held on, even being at a disadvantage with catapult pressure their way. This team just, they have so much to them, right? They're just trying to refine and become better and better, and we get to sit here and watch it every single week. Now, the Playing Ducks will face off against Synergy on Sunday, but the story here, Dignitas.
Yeah, doing very well for themselves. They've now got 4 wins under their belt. The only loss that they had was to Misfits. I think what's going to be deciding for them down the line for HGC Europe is when they do play against Fnatic and where we actually see them eking out. Because that can be the difference between 2nd and 3rd place for them in terms of that big 3 roster. So good play by Team Dignitas.
Yep, gotta agree with you. Now, just for you at home, we are trying to get Snitch on the phone. We'll ask him about today's matches and figure out what they want to do. I'm going to hit him up with the Zul'jin question.
Yep.
Where does Zul'jin come from? And what do they think his strength is? You know, naturally, I look at Zul'jin and I start to think, okay, he's very, very powerful in that bottom 4-man rotation. But I want to get their thoughts. In fact, I think we have a Snitch here. Snitch, can you hear me?
Hello, yes I can.
Yes, there it is. Snitch, first off, congratulations on your victory today. Dignitas is just really coming together as a team, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a lot of time together now, and I think we're really starting to show how strong a team we can be, and it's looking good.
Awesome, man. So I just want to ask you, Braxis holdout, we got to see the Zul'jin pick. Can you give us some insight of why he can be so strong on that battleground?
Zul'jin works really effectively with Tassadar, so we're mainly using it as like a Vala substitute, where we could pick something in place of that because they took it early in the draft. He trades really well with shields, you know, he does a lot of damage if he's well protected, so we were mainly using him just kind of like as a substitute Vala because they'd taken it.
Awesome.
I'm trying to think of questions myself. I was about to ask something to the effect of, was your hair inspired by Zul'jin? But then I thought maybe it wasn't.
Deeply.
Thank you. I'm trying to think. One of your next series, obviously, coming up is going to be against Fnatic. How are you guys looking towards that series? Because obviously it's kind of like probably the most anticipated fixture for now after you guys took out Expert.
I think if you'd asked us in week 1, we'd say we're really concerned going into Fnatic and we're really unconfident. But I think now that we've had a lot of time to gel, we consider Fnatic an equal. And I think we'll pull out a really good series this Sunday, and I'm really looking forward to playing them.
Awesome. So you guys still have your eyes on the prize of going to the Clash, it seems like.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We're all very focused on going to Katowice, but even if we felt like we'd already made it, we want to focus 100% on every single series that we could.
I mean, at this point in time, obviously, you're kind of solidifying yourself as one of the top 3 in Europe. That's kind of a foregone conclusion for a lot of people. How do you guys see your prospects going into Katowice down the line? Because obviously there's going to be a lot of strong teams from Europe. North America's bringing things to the table as well.
Sorry, I heard you say strong teams from North America, so I had to take a minute there.
I almost said it. Go on.
I feel like coming into Katowice will end up one of the teams to win for sure, actually. I think we've already proven ourselves again, as you said, to be one of the top 3 European team again, and I think even now we're still gelling, we're still getting stronger, we're still pushing the limits of what we can play. So I think by the time we reach Katowice, we'll be a much stronger force than we even are now. And I think already, like I said, we're proving that we're a really, really strong team here in Europe. And I feel like Europe's the best region coming into this clash.
Yeah.
So I think we'll definitely be a top contender for the first place spot.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Snitch, thank you for your time. Before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout outs to my team, shout outs to all of our fans supporting us, shout outs to Team Dignitas and our sponsors. Yeah, I mean, thanks a lot to everybody who tuned in to watch us today. I do hope that we can qualify to Katowice for you and make you proud there.
Awesome. Congratulations to Dignitas walking away with a 3-1 victory over the Playing Ducks. We'll be right back with our second series of the day here at HGC Europe.
Lucio coming at you.
Since he was a child, Lucio has always believed in using music to bring people together. When the Vishkar Corporation moved in and began to exploit his community, Lucio repurposed the company's sonic technology and used it to lead an uprising. He became an overnight celebrity and started touring the world in sold-out shows to promote positive social change. Now, Lucio fights for justice as he drops the beat around the world and throughout the Nexus. Lucio is a highly mobile support hero who constantly heals